Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe with tonight's Sports Ticker, brought to you by GoCurrency.com. Nebraska's volleyball season came to an end today in Louisville, Kentucky. The Huskers dropped a 5-set match to Oregon, losing 15-11 in the fifth. The Huskers had 4 match points in the fourth set, but were unable to close out the Ducks. Nebraska's year ends with a record of 26-6. We'll have comments from assistant coach Jalen Reyes coming up in hour number 2. Other Big Ten schools competing in the tournament, Ohio State bounced Minnesota in 4 sets in Austin. They will take on the Longhorns in a regional final on Saturday. Wisconsin has won set 1 from Penn State up in Madison. The winner of that match will get Pittsburgh on Saturday. Big Ten basketball tonight. Rutgers is at Ohio State. Iowa State visits Iowa City in the Hawkeyes, and Michigan and Minnesota duel in the Twin Cities. On the women's side, Ohio State blasted New Hampshire in a non-conference game today, 92-36. Maryland and Purdue are playing in West Lafayette. The Boilermakers lead 34-30 in the second quarter. Just getting underway, Indiana at Penn State and Toledo up in Michigan to take on the Wolverines. Another day, another Husker football player has entered the portal. Running back Jock Yant has placed his name in the portal. Yant had limited carries this past season. NFL action tonight as the Raiders visiting Los Angeles to face the Rams. Need to buy or sell heavy equipment, farm machinery, trucks, or trailers? GoCurrency is the industry-leading online auction platform for big machines. Get worldwide exposure and earn top dollar for your equipment. Visit GoCurrency.com today. Sports Highlight coming up next.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Goes across the key, left block, inside Walker, gathers, puts it up and in! Bang! A ring! And just like that, the Huskers are up in this basketball game over Creighton by 8.
Pass is made, they run the slide. Dooley, block back, and it drops! 2019, nick of time. Guess who? Jalen Horn. That's 11 blocks for Nebraska.
Out to Jazz Shelley. Going to drive around Sellers. Flips it up. The banker is good. She's on fire. My goodness, is Jazz Shelley on fire.
Holy smokes.
She's got 27. Huskers lead at 60-56.
And that's going to wrap it up, my friends. 13 seconds left to go. Huskers are going to win for the first time in Omaha since Jake Muehlheisen did in 2004.
And please excuse me if I stand and applaud this Nebraska women's basketball team.
Whoa! Little shots, and here come the Huskers. The setter had with the first touch. Bump set to the right. Krause for the win. She got it! They did it! Call the grandkids! Nebraska to the Sweet 16. 26-24. Big round of the fourth. Takes down the Kansas Jayhawks.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Good evening. Welcome to a Sports Highlight here on a Thursday night. You have 2 hours of us tonight. Going to be fun. Going to get through a full two hours without a coach's show, without a game to get to, and a lot of things for us to talk about as we wrap up a season, as Husker volleyball season came to an end today in heartbreaking fashion because the Huskers looked so good early, rolled in the first set, lost set 2, but came back, won set 3, and you kind of felt like, okay, they're going to be fine. They were in control of set 4. Oregon rallied, but as I mentioned in the ticker, Jessica, Nebraska had 4 points to win the match and couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and when it went to what, it was 32-30, or it just, I had a bad feeling once it got to that. Whichever team, it's just so emotional and it takes so much out of you, and you're fighting so hard, and it's hard to respond from that. It's one of those things in sports. It's like, you know, when you give up a 25-point lead in basketball and, you know, trying to gather yourself, it's just really, really hard to do.
They had one of the match points, and I was watching this in Husker Vision today, that they were Huskers at 28-27, and they got a free ball from Oregon. Oregon had just barely had to tap it back over, and Nebraska couldn't even get a swing off to try to win the match right there. And then they were out of subs, and at one point you had on the front line Maisie Bozinger, bless her heart, and Ani Evans playing along your front row because of the rotation, and you're going, this isn't going to end well, and it didn't, and then Oregon just jumped all over Nebraska in the fifth set.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think is got to be emotional. And there's still, you have to remember too, there's still a lot of young players that were on the court that hadn't necessarily been in a lot of those types of situations. And we talked about it a little bit last night. This team is just, and even the ESPN broadcasters were talking a lot about this. Typically, at this point, you like to be pretty set in your rotation and the consistent with your lineups. And it's been shuffled throughout this entire season. And that's just really hard when you can't build that chemistry. I mean, they were talking a lot about how Allie Batenhorst is having to play all rotations, and that's,
she's not used to that.
Yeah, and so there's just a lot of things that this team was doing that, you know, and they just had been dealt couple of tough blows. And Kinsey Knuckles, I think that was just, that's the heart and soul of this team. And you know, she can be there on the sideline, but when she's not on the court, it's just it really can be deflating for a team. I think they responded pretty well. I thought we saw some really good things from Lindsay Krause. Boy, she loves this time of the year.
Does.
And Allie Batenhorst played pretty well too. And we said that, boy, they stepped up big time this time a year ago. So you saw the devastation, and it just kills you. But guarantee it, this is going to fuel this team in a big, big way heading into next season.
There'll be a lot of new looks to it because that's it for 4 players: Kinsey Knuckles, Maddie Kubik, Nicklin Hames, and Caitlin Horde. Their careers are over. And John Cook mentioned in his post-game comments, he goes, yeah, losing Kinsey was a big blow. She's one of the best backline players in the country. To have to take her out, and by the way, he did announce that she's going to work for 1890, the collective, Matt Davison's company.
Wow, she'll be great.
She has a job already, so she's going to be doing that. So we'll be seeing her around town.
You know, she'd work with Open Doors some too.
Yep.
And so she will be fantastic. And that'll be huge for these programs too. How big is NIL and all of this thing right now, and recruiting and getting guys to come here from the transfer, all of it. And Nebraska is, we've heard time and time again, they're at the top of the list. They're one of the front runners in NIL, and hey, they just got even better with Kinsey Knuckles being added to that.
She's a terrific young lady. And Nicklin Hames, Jessica, is one of the most popular volleyball players of all time in Nebraska history. And it's just because of her flair and I think her style and the color hair that she would throw in there from time to time. She had to take on a much bigger role than I think John Cook envisioned for her, because I think he really thought Kennedy Orr would grab the setter's position, and Kennedy had injury problems left and right, and so Nicklin had to probably step up and play even more. Nicklin, I think, wants to coach, right? She wants to do that.
Yeah, I think she's going to be on the staff next year, and I think, you know, it's a lot to ask, and I think her body just started to maybe give out on her a little bit, and you know, it's hard on your body to play. And she's played a lot of volleyball.
She has.
So you know, in 6 years, right? So or 5 years, and just has been out on the court almost every second of it. And so I think maybe towards the end a little bit, she just got a little bit worn down. But kudos to her to step in. You come into it and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to come into this year not setting and in this role, and she stepped into it. Again, one of those things we were talking about, had to shuffle and throughout the entire season. So yeah, but I think again, she'll be around and will help these setters and continue to grow, and she's going to be a great coach too.
Disappointing year, though, overall. You had the Final Four up the road in Omaha. You had a team that was preseason #1, and it just never quite got to that level. They couldn't get over the Wisconsin hump in the regular season. And as you mentioned earlier, they just couldn't find the combination and stick with it. And today broke a streak of 10 straight years of making the Elite Eight, which is just crazy,
yeah.
Unbelievable. And yet you sit here, and I talked to some people this afternoon, and like, yeah, it's hard to say you're disappointed when you made the Sweet 16, but you kind of feel that way in a way about Husker volleyball.
And that's what's great, and I think Coach Cook will say that, and this team will say that. That's what's great about this program, is that's where the expectations are.
Correct.
And that's where the bar is set, and that's why players want to come here. It's why he reloads every single year. He doesn't rebuild, he reloads, because players want to come be a part of that and those expectations, and be a part of, you know, continuing to raise that bar and meet those standards. And so I don't think anybody that's a part of this program would want it any other way than to walk off the court disappointed of having the season end in the Sweet 16.
Right.
How many people would kill to be a part of a program like that, to
Absolutely.
where you are not, I mean, it is a huge letdown that you don't advance past the Sweet 16.
Next week's going to be hard, because you're going to be sitting here 60 miles away from a big party in the Final Four, and you're not going to be. It's going to be hard. It is for Husker fans, for this team. But as you said, hopefully that fuels and motivates them to work in the offseason, and now they get into beach season. I know that's what they go to next, but you hope that really fuels the fire.
And you mentioned the players that have had significant impacts on this program, but then you look at some of the other outstanding players, sophomore,
right.
freshman,
yeah.
sophomore. I mean, there's a lot of young talent that got a lot of experience too. And again, just figuring out how to think for your freshman and sophomore year, it's kind of like you're deferring a little bit. But I think some of these players and the way that we've seen Lindsey Krause step up this time of year, I think she'll take the bull by the horns and be one of those players that, hey, when things need to start changing on the court, she can absolutely turn the tide. Allie Batenhorst and and again, arguably the best libero in the nation, and Lexi Rodriguez coming back. There's a really talented core coming back.
Becca,
and then again, another top recruiting class that's going to be added.
Becca Alec was a monster freshman year for her, and Whitney Lonstein's improvement. You talked to Whitney a month or so ago. Her improvement was off the charts from last year to this year.
Yeah, she got a lot better, and she wasn't healthy. I think she was kind of sick here in the postseason, so I don't think we saw the best Whitney Lonstein either, and I bet she will be fueled by that too. But yeah, she made tremendous strides, and she's nowhere satisfied either. So yeah, I think this team will hit it hard, and they'll be better for it.
Coach, folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. I mentioned the ticker, another day, another guy in the portal. Jacques Jean goes in the portal. And I know we got teased by him a year ago in that monster game he had against Northwestern, but he just never quite clicked. And there were times, and if you really watch carefully, there were times that Jacques didn't go the right way on a play or wasn't where he needed to be in a certain play. And I know that frustrated the coaches, and maybe a fresh start for him somewhere else will be good, but boy, I think a lot of us expected Jacques to have a bigger role this year than he ended up having.
Not taking anything away from what he did, because, he did have some good plays, but the offensive line was absolutely dominant in that game. There's a lot of running backs that could have had a big day that day just because of the way that the offensive line dominated. But if you would have asked me before all of this thing started and the transfer portal guys, who would be one of the guys that you expect to be in the portal, Yant would have been one of the first ones that I would have said. He might have been at the top of the list. I just think, you saw him move down the depth chart, and then Ramir Johnson, and you have Anthony Grant, potentially A.J. Allen. I just think, again, for a lot of these players, and that's okay. That's why the portal exists, is maybe he can go find a better fit and find a situation that's better for him. But I think it's pretty solidified that he was not going to get the carries and the playing time that he would have hoped for here. I think he just had moved down the depth chart, and that's a lot of times what happens with the transfer portal now, is that when guys lose those opportunities, they want to go find a better fit. And so I am not surprised by that one either. And again, still have not seen, other than Ernest Hausman, an absolutely massive impact player that has entered the portal.
Right.
I don't even know, this might have been the exact same situation we would have had with or without a coaching change.
Don't you get a sense that Anthony Grant's coming back?
I do. I feel like he is, yeah.
Some of the stuff he's put on social media, you're like, okay, he's in.
Yeah, and I've seen him down at the training table almost every day at lunch, and he seems happy-go-lucky. So I don't know. Again, I've had a few conversations with people that have said that Matt Rule has been really, really impressive when he's meeting with these current players. And so I think there's maybe a few of them are going to wait and see, and see how the rest of the coaching staff unfolds. And we talked about it. It's until January 18th. It's the day after, I think, the championship game, that the portal stays open, the window that you can enter the portal. But also, too, it's so smart, too, for them to sit back and wait, because right now there's so many guys in the portal that it's like a free-for-all. How many guys? It's not just here.
It's over 2,000 now.
And there's not everybody's going to find a spot, and not everybody's going to find a place that you are going to go get the kind of playing time that you're looking for. So I think waiting and see, and for a lot of these guys that have made their mark here, and I love how Coach Rule, what he said. He said, I came here because I wanted to coach you guys, and a lot of times the coaches coming into the situation, they want their own guys. But I think, again, I think his messaging to some of these players, the ones that have been here and been around, I think they've been receptive to it and are excited about it. And again, we'll see. There's still some time left for this thing to unfold. And again, as they keep getting these coaching staffs hired and how this thing fills out. But I think there's a lot of players on this current roster that are believing in what Matt Rule is bringing to the table.
And he's been busy all week. We've seen pretty much every day pictures of him in somebody's home, and a lot of the coaches in players' homes. It will be a really busy weekend here in Lincoln. They're going to have a lot of people coming to visit this weekend. Hopefully some of the new coaches. A lot of smoke about a defensive coordinator has been picked on a lot of different websites. A lot of different people who cover the Huskers are reporting that Coach Rule has landed on a new defensive coordinator, but nothing official yet out of the football office here today. But a big weekend coming up because there'll be a lot of young men here and even some transfer portal guys that are coming here to look in Nebraska. That will be the trade-off. You're going to lose some, but you're going to get some out of the portal.
I walked in on the other side of the stadium where you walk through the football offices, and they've got it all decorated up with this really neat display right when you walk in, and they're going to go all out. And I've been super impressed by the approach to recruiting, by this entire staff, the official visits, how they've been on social media, but then also the things that are going on behind the scenes for this weekend. We've heard how great the junior day went the other day. I think this weekend is going to blow away a lot of these recruits. You got 2 weekends to sell some of these guys, and so they've got, again, an extensive plan in place on what they're going to do while they're here. And so I think they're crazy organized and have a great plan to, again, sell some of these guys to come here that when you want to fill out some of the places in your roster.
So we'll keep monitoring all that. Again, we're efforting for all of you to try to get a chance to talk to some of these new assistant coaches. But again, they're not here. They will be back this weekend because of all the visits that will be going on here on campus, so we'll keep on top of that moving forward. All right, here's what we have coming up on the program. Another Sideline Slice is out, right?
Yes, yep. We got a chance to chat with Jeremiah about some of the new coaching additions. When we taped the offensive line news, I know nothing's official yet on some of these hires. There are reports out on social media, but we can't talk specifically about it until it's official from the university. But either way, we didn't dive in necessarily to that, but dove into his perspective on Coach Satterfield. Jeremiah's watched a lot of South Carolina film this year. Some of the things, he reached out to some of his NFL contacts about Coach Rule, and so, yeah, he's got a lot of great insight on how some of these things are unfolding.
Good. We're looking forward to that. That's coming up here in just a few minutes. Hour number 2, Jalen Reyes, Husker assistant volleyball coach, talked with JB and Lauren after the match. We'll replay you that post-game conversation from earlier today as the Husker season came to an end in Louisville as they lost in 5 to Oregon. Also, you have a nutrition podcast that is out, and Keith Zimmer, who is the godfather of the life skills program here at Nebraska. You sat down with him, and we're going to hear a snippet of that coming up in hour number 2.
It's the Husker Performance Podcast, Greg, not nutrition.
Not just nutrition.
We changed it this year to focus on the other areas that can help, that help student athletes become their best. And so we did the mental health series, but yes, it started out as a nutrition. So yeah, the life skills is a huge part of what the student athletes do here and their development. And so yeah, we dive into the background of that and some of the ways that student athletes can get involved there. And Keith is awesome, obviously. So can't wait for you guys to hear that one. That's coming up in hour 2 as well. All right. Your show, folks, 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program, or if you want to text a comment or question to Jessica and I, you can do that as well. It's our Sports Nightly Hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you were looking for with Woodhouse. We're back to hear from Jeremiah. That's coming up next.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. Husker students on the debate team and Bateman competition public relations team earned national championships this past year, marking a first for each program. The debate team claimed victory with one of the youngest teams in the country, while the Bateman competition public relations team won their championship by building a PR campaign for the Lymphoma Research Foundation.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com and find an agent to help you choose the coverage you need. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Find your next truck at Woodhouse Buick GMC. No matter where you're heading or what tasks need tackling, there's a premium and capable GMC truck that's perfect for you. Make a statement on the job site, out on the town, or wherever life leads you in the powerful and distinctive Sierra 1500, or elevate your driving experience in the adventurous and innovative Canyon. Explore our inventory online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com or visit our indoor showroom today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
It's harvest special time, and you can save $3 per foot or $3,900 per quarter-mile system now on a T&L pivot system. Pivots worked long hours this season battling dry weather to save top-dollar corn and soybean crops. But did your pivots work like no other? If not, it's time to invest in a reliable, safe, low-maintenance T&L irrigation system. Hydrostatic drives move these durable workhorses continuously across fields. So get an irrigation system that works as hard as you do. Contact T&L Irrigation, your local T&L dealer, or visit us online at TLIRR.com. T&L irrigation systems like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every single day, Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed the globe. When you grow non-GMO white corn or non-GMO yellow corn, you can earn up to $250 more per acre. Do the math. Growing CVA value-added grains pays huge dividends. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Learn how you can get up to a $5,000 signing bonus with a value-added grain contract at CVAcoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
In transition, Shelley 3 on the left wing. You betcha! How do you not Carter in transition? And timeout, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen of the Big Ten, if Nebraska goes in transition, somebody needs to guard Jazz Shelley.
Saturday, Nebraska women's basketball hosts Samford at the PBA. Matt Coatney and Jeff Greash are live on the Huskers Radio Network at 5:45 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
We are back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here. It is a Thursday night here on Sports Hunting on the Huskers Radio Network. Earlier in the week, you had a chance to sit down with Jeremiah Searles and get his thoughts about Husker football and the new staff.
Yeah, the latest edition of the Sideline Slice presented by Valentino's Pizza. Here is a cut of that with Jeremiah Searles. Your initial reaction when it was announced that Matt Rhule is the next head football coach here at Nebraska?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm really excited. What his track record of Temple and Baylor and how he turned around programs that were in complete disarray. And make no mistake, Nebraska, we are in complete disarray at a lot of positions on this football team. That how quickly he was able to have success makes me very optimistic for the future here. The one thing I am slightly, concerned about is he has been in the NFL as the whole world of NIL has exploded. So he is kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit on that, and he's going to be learning with that as it goes. He's going to have to hire some people around him and bring some people not just in the front office but into recruiting and the whole bit that understand how NIL and how college football are coexisting at the moment. So that's going to be something he's going to have to jump on and get with going, because I think that's a huge part of what college football is right now.
Yeah, but that's what's great about Nebraska, and we've heard this over and over again. I mean, Wisconsin is not in a good spot with NIL. It's not about so much the coaching staff and producing the NIL, and Coach Cook, John Cook, has said how big it is for his recruiting too. There are people in place that are managing that and getting it in the right spot. I mean, Nebraska is way far ahead of most programs in terms of NIL.
Yes, which is great. It's great. It's just, it has to be a coexisting relationship with head coach, NIL, player, and I think that it's just going to be new to him. Now, the good news is he comes from the NFL, so he's used to guys with money. It's not a problem. So I think that's kind of that was my one big concern. I think he's put together a good staff as we go forward here. And I know we're still waiting on O-line coach, which is going to be a massive hire. You can't win in the Big Ten without a great O-line. I mean, look at Michigan. They have the best O-line in arguably the country, and it's why they're winning. So I think that we really need to hire a home run at there, whether that's Raiola staying or we go out and find someone else, and then the D coordinator position still open too. So some last final pieces to put together here, but overall I'm impressed with the staff he brought and super excited.
I will disagree with you a little bit. You said that this program is in disarray at certain positions, but this staff, and he's got guys that he's brought with him already on staff that were with him at Temple and Baylor that were rebuild programs. And yes, this does require some rebuilding, but this is by far the best situation that they have taken over.
Yeah, I think, if you want to compare it to where Temple and Baylor were at, I would agree with you. I think from Nebraska standards and what we believe as fans and what we believe as former players and everything, we are in disarray in that front.
Yeah.
So yes, I will agree with you that compared to what they've had, and they've been able to make chicken salad out of chicken, you guys can fill in the blank. But I think that, they are in a much better spot, much better resources, much better opportunities here. So that's why I think that the turnaround could be even faster than it was at Baylor, faster than it was at Temple, but it still is just not where Nebraska wants it to be. And so I'm really excited to see in 2 years or 3 years how quickly he can get us to where we want to go.
Well, Trev said he wanted a grinder, and that is what Matt Rhule has done since he stepped foot in Nebraska. I mean, they are working nonstop. They have been out recruiting. You can see it all over social media. And, high school coaches have put out how great it is and how much they've enjoyed meeting with him. That's huge, right? I mean, he's already making huge strides in that regard in terms of recruiting.
Yeah, and I reached out to some of my buddies who played for him in the NFL. Pat Elflein was the starting center for Carolina. I talked to Christian McCaffrey, who was with him in Carolina, and, all those guys saying really big praises for him. They were like, it didn't work out for him in Carolina, but they said the same thing I did. Sometimes NFL and college it just doesn't mix sometimes. But they said he was a great individual and a great leader, and so that's something that I love hearing from guys that played under a coach. And yeah, he's out there doing all the right things. He's grinding. I also have heard from multiple people that he has great connections in Texas, and all the Texas head coaches loved him when he was at Baylor, so hoping another pipeline from Texas to Nebraska can get opened up there, because there's a lot of good players that come out of Texas. So he has a great formula. I'm excited to see how he implements that. And you're right, he's a workaholic, he's a grinder, and I love everything about that.
How about the staff so far? I mean, you talked about you like the staff so far that he's putting together. They're young, they're energetic, and they have also hit the ground running too.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's very hungry. It seems like everyone's very hungry to go after and like kind of invigorated here. I think everyone understands on this staff what Nebraska is and what it's supposed to be. And I think all of them want to hold everything to the standard of which we want it to be held, which is championships level standards, right? I wear this shirt quite often, which is, it says playoff caliber, and that was our standard when we were in Buffalo. And it was what Sean McDermott used to say to us all the time: are you doing everything in your possibility to be at the playoff standard? And I think that when I look at this staff, I see them going, we're going to do everything to be to a Big Ten championship standard, whether that's recruiting, whether that's how we do in the weight room, in the film room, in the walkthroughs, to practice, to games. Everything's going to be held to a certain standard, and they're starting to right out the gate with that. And so love that out of this staff. And like I said, I don't know if you can tell, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for where this can go. I'm really pumped up. I don't think it's going to be a quick turn of a hat in a year, but I can see Coach Rule having this place 2-3 years being very, very competitive.
You talked about the pipeline to Texas, and I absolutely think that that's going to open back up because he won over. He was not from Texas, and a lot of those high school coaches in Texas were hesitant about this outsider coming into Texas, and he had won them over in a hurry. And I did a breakdown on the actual day, on his press conference day during our show. In his 3 years that he was at Baylor, those rosters that he put together, over 80% of that roster was from Texas. But then I went back to his last roster at Temple, and over 80% of that roster was from that area surrounding right there in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So I do think he will go to Texas and he will open that pipeline back up. But I also think he's going to make this area a major priority too, and getting the best kids here in Nebraska to stay here at Nebraska, and the surrounding states to try to lock up that talent here in this area.
Yeah, I want to reach back out into Colorado and Kansas and South Dakota and Iowa, and I mean, you got to draw a 500 to 600 mile circle around and say we own this spot, because we are directly competing with Iowa, and Kansas State is starting to come along, so we're going to be competing with them for players in the region too. We have to own our area and own our backyard in recruiting, and the farther we can expand that circle, the better. And Coach Rule is going to have an uphill battle to fight with that at times, but we get 1 or 2 winning seasons under our belt, we're going to blow those other schools out of the water because we are Nebraska, and Kansas State and Iowa State and Kansas and all those are completely just poo-pooed on once we get back to being who we are.
I did want to read you this, since we don't have an offensive line coach to talk about yet, but I think the second position you like to talk about the most, well, not, I guess, defensive line, but you also like to talk running backs. So how about this quote I found from E.J. Barthel back when he was at UConn? He said, we have to be elite in protection. We have to be elite in the receiving game. We have to be vital participants on special teams, all phases of the game. The running back has to be the ultimate team player. And he also said, I can't teach a back how to run the ball, but I can teach a back where to run the ball. How about that?
I love that. And, the thing that I love the most is one of the first things he said is protection. Protection.
I knew you would. I knew you would. That's why I had to read you that quote.
Yes. Protection is so important. My partner in our agency, Zach Zenner, played running back at South Dakota State, played 5 years for the Lions as a third down blocking back. When he is evaluating running backs for if we want to sign them or not, the number one thing he looks at is, can he pass protect? Because you can't play in the NFL if you can't pass protect, unless you're a freak show like Adrian Peterson, who just played first and second down. Like, you have to be able to protect. And, so that's great to hear. I love that out of him. And he's right, though. You can't teach a natural running back how to be a complete natural and just running the ball like an absolute lunatic and making people miss and doing that thing. But you sure as heck can coach guys on vision. You can coach guys on where the point of attack is and why, and conceptually explaining to them the whole concept of the play as to why things work and where the blocking leverage is and where the cutback lanes are. And so I love that quote out of him, and the bigger thing, too, that I think people kind of glaze over is the special teams.
Yeah.
That basically tells me, if you're not the starter, get your butt on all 4 core. Get your butt on punt. Get your butt on kick return. Get your butt on punt return. Because all of those things are going to help this team win. Special teams are extremely important. We saw it this year. It helped us a lot, but we still have to get better in some phases of it.
So we will see. There's been some Huskers that have entered the transfer portal. The transfer portal is just nuts right now.
Along with 1,000 other players.
It is bonkers how many quarterbacks are in the portal now. But anyways, Matt Rule is not only recruiting guys high school kids right now with signing day coming up on December 21st. He's not only trying to recruit guys that are in the portal already, but he's having to recruit the players on this roster, some of the ones that you want to keep around. So if you are a part of this recruiting, give me your list of, I guess, 5 guys that you think are really important for Coach Rule and his staff to try to recruit to stay here at Nebraska.
Casey Thompson, Anthony Grant, Ty Robinson. Find a way to get Ernest Hausman back. You know I'm a big Ernest Hausman fan.
I know.
You know I'm a big Ernest Hausman fan. And then Marcus Washington. I don't know if he's a senior or not.
He's got another year of eligibility.
I think he has another year. I think with Trey Palmer going to the NFL draft, he is the easy step in at wide receiver 1 next year. You know, so that's just a quick list of 5 of guys that were impact players this season that I would love to see a year of development under a new staff, new strength and conditioning, all of it, and see what they could be next year. I think all those guys have chances to be NFL caliber players, and you always want to keep NFL talent on your roster. So, I mean, I could keep going. There's plenty of other players, but I think off the top of my head, those 5, and if you're listening, Ernest Hausman, come back. Come on home, buddy.
I think a lot of people are saying
we will welcome you with open arms. Come on back.
I already know the answer to this, but maybe you can give your number 2 and number 3 response to this. If you're this coaching staff going to the portal right now, number 1 priority is
offensive line.
It's a dumb question. I knew you were going there. Okay, but
number 2 and number 3 is offensive line. I mean, it's very simple. We weren't good up front this year. We were okay on the defensive line. If we had an average to good, I'm not even saying if we had a great offensive line. We were poor to bad last year. That's what it was. If we are average to good on this offense, we win 5 or 6 games this past year. I really do believe that. I mean, and I think that Matt Rule will see that. He comes from the NFL where you have to win in the trenches. He drafted a left tackle with the 6th overall pick last year. You know, so he understands the need for offensive linemen. I would love to see us bring in 3 to 5 portal offensive linemen this year.
Listen, he said that in his press conference. I know he's said that to some of these players that he's talking to and meeting with, that he's going to get that right. And I know you love to hear that as an offensive lineman, that is, I think, his probably number 1 priority is getting right up front and being physical and dominant in the trenches.
Yeah, you have to be in this league. And I don't care if you're in the Big 12, the Big 10, the Pac-12, the SEC, the AAC, whatever. You can't win if you're not having championship tackles and dominant in the run game.
All right, again, that is the Sideline Slice presented by Valentino's, the official pizza of the Huskers. And that was just about not even half of our entire conversation. So
and it's all posted.
The full thing right now on our podcast platforms, also on our YouTube channel as well. Hear much more from Searles. And hey, I said it at the end, but we are just kind of getting started in this December news. December is a massive month for college football and for Nebraska football news. And so we'll be back again here probably in a couple of weeks once we have signing day. We know how the rest of the staff looks like. So he's paying close attention to it all and always has great insight.
It's turned into one of the busiest months of the year for the sport.
It really has.
Because of the portal and recruiting, bowl selections, championship games, bowls. It's
coaching changes, all of it. Yeah,
it just mixes in there.
It's pretty crazy. And here too, and even talking about which players are going to stay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a lot of different things to talk about here in the month of December. But we're going to keep us busy, right?
Crypto King still wants Jeremiah to be a coach.
Yeah, so does a lot of other people, I think, but he says absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't see him taking that path. I really don't. Hey, First Interstate Bank, built for you. Learn more at www.firstinterstatebank.com, member FDIC. All right, phone lines, text lines, wide open for you. Give us a shout, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. We're back with more of the show coming up.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Off the back rim, Markowski, great rebound. People for the ball. Throws it out to Moriarty. Widener for three, deep right corner, you betcha. Off the assist to Moriarty, but give half an assist to Alexis Markowski.
And the sophomores are closing out the quarter.
Monday, join us for Sports Nightly at 6 p.m. when we'll recap another big weekend of Huskers athletics. At 7 p.m., Fred Hoiberg is in studio for the Nebraska men's basketball show. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimate CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes.
Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you Thursday night, Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network, 402-413-2400. We had a really short show last night because both men and women's basketball played last night. And right after we got off the air is when I heard Kent and Jake talking about no Sam Riesel wasn't going to play last night.
Yeah, and he was there apparently, just got a bug, and I think it kind of had hit a couple of guys on the team. He'll be back soon. I don't think it's
hopefully by Saturday.
Hopefully, yeah. So I know he's got a special relationship with a young man who goes to the hospital in Omaha, and we were going to do a feature on that this weekend. So hopefully everything on. Not only so he can play, but also so he can, see his friend and all of that. We can do that feature. But, yeah, I think he'll be back. I mean, you said it off the air. He had to be probably pretty sick to keep him off the court.
Well, yeah, he's such a tough guy.
Yeah.
You feel like, and they ran into a bit of a buzzsaw. Indiana played really, really well. You knew Trace Jackson Davis was a great player, but they got contributions from other guys. They were going to beat a lot of teams last night at Assembly Hall.
I read an article from an Indiana perspective that said that's by far the best game they've played all year. And their head coach challenged them coming off their loss at Rutgers. Didn't think they were tough enough. They didn't shoot it well. And so it just was a bad time to have Indiana on the schedule.
And what a night for Jazz Shelley back at PBA. 31 points. Huskers rout Wisconsin. My goodness, so they drained the threes in that game.
I mean, Jazz is really starting to come into her own, and I think just again embracing a kind of role that she hasn't really in the past. And she did not shoot it well at the beginning of the year. And remember, we sat here and talked about it in one of the losses. And like, Jazz is not going to shoot it like this.
Right.
It's going to get better. And boy, has she gotten that lid off of that bucket. And she's just been fantastic. And again, it kind of snowballs. If you are playing with a lot of confidence, then it's contagious for her team. They follow it. And they did all of that without Izzy Bourne. That was a dominating performance without Izzy. That was an impressive win last night.
13 threes made by the Huskers, and they rout the Badgers and are 2-0 in the league, which is a great start for the league. And now they'll go into some non-conference matchups. They'll play Samford Saturday night at PBA. It's a doubleheader day at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The men will play Purdue at 1:15. The women then are at 6 that night to take on Samford. And so the women are in the midst of a 5-game homestand. The men have Purdue at home, and then everybody's off next week because it's finals week. So there are no games from Saturday to Saturday. Because I guess they have to go to class, because they have to take tests. I guess they're students.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to interview Mikey Labriola today, and he had a final today.
Oh, come on.
And then there was somebody, Kendall Moriarty, I had in, and she had one final that she was taking this week. So I think a lot of them are getting the finals in this week.
Well, it's different, really, because, we've really changed. It used to be it was so rigid that your finals were during finals week, but now so much stuff is online that these kids do. They'll get done early and finish up a project, and that might be it, or they do an online test this week, and they're done next week.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I know that players love this time of year because it's a lot to balance, a lot going on. But then for like 2 or 3 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks here in this December and January stretch, you can just focus on basketball. You can get a lot done as a team. You can go get extra work done. You can heal your bodies. And there's a lot of things that you can get accomplished here in these next few weeks.
No doubt. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Also time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Back to wrap up hour 1 next.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Baco gives it to Griesel, sets a screen for Griesel, dances to the foul line, in the paint, all the way into the block. Out it comes to Bandamel. 8 on the shot clock, 1 arm to the pass. Breidenbach puts up another 3. This one's on the way. Got it! Got it! Got it! Breidenbach with a big 3.
Saturday, Huskers men's hoops host Purdue at the PBA. Ken Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen are live with wall-to-wall coverage at 12:15 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics, research, and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. 402-413-2400. Final few minutes of hour number 1. Coming up in the second hour of the program, we're going to replay Jalen Reyes' appearance on the postgame show at the end of the volleyball match today with JB and Lauren, get his comments about the wrap-up of the season and the game today, the heartbreaking 5-set loss to Oregon earlier today. We'll have that for you. And a performance podcast has been dropped out. Keith Zimmer, who leads the Huskers Life Skills division, will join Jessica. We'll play you a snippet of that coming up in the second hour as well. Doug in Norfolk wants to know how many more coaching openings are there. Hard to keep track, Doug. I think most of them are filled. We just have not had an official announcement from the athletic department since the 6 were announced last week. That would have left 5. I think pretty much all of them are done. Yeah, but then you also have to think about, too, those are the ones that are on the field positions, that the coaching on the field and then strength and conditioning, but then you'll add an assistant strength and conditioning and some of those quality controls and graduate assistants. A lot of those are still key pieces to a football staff. Look at last year, how many we were calling on a quality control to play call or be down on the field with the offense at the end of the year. So, yeah, there's some important pieces that aren't just the official coaching on the field positions that we'll keep adding and we'll find out about probably from here until next football season. Right. How many hours a day do you think Matt Rule has averaged at the stadium in the last 2 weeks? Well, and if he's not at the stadium, he's recruiting. He's in a plane flying to different places. They have put in some time. They have been here. They are burning the midnight oil for sure. Yeah, so a lot of hard work going on. And again, a busy, busy weekend coming up. A lot of visits coming to town, official visits to see and check out Husker football, recruits, transfer portal, people coming into town. So it'll be a busy, busy weekend. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. Anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Hour 2 coming back.
hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Every single day, Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed the globe. When you grow non-GMO white corn or non-GMO yellow corn, you can earn up to $250 more per acre. Do the math. Growing CVA value-added grains pays huge dividends. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Learn how you can get up to a $5,000 signing bonus with a value-added grain contract at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. For the 5th straight year, the University of Nebraska system is a top 100 patent-earning institution. NU system researchers were granted 43 patents in 2021, with UNL researchers named as inventors on 25 of these patents. Husker patents include 3 projects with partners at the University of Nebraska Medical Center and 6 patents for a surgical robot developed by faculty in the College of Engineering.
Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe. Tonight's Sports Ticker brought to you by GoCurrency.com. Nebraska's volleyball season came to an end today. The Huskers dropped a 5-set match to Oregon, losing 15-11 in the 5th set. The Huskers had 4 match points in the 4th set, but were unable to close out the Ducks. The Huskers end the year 26-6. We'll have comments from assistant coach Jalen Reyes coming up here momentarily. Other Big Ten schools competing in the tournament, a couple of Big Ten matchups today. Ohio State beat Minnesota in 4. They'll play Texas in the region final on Saturday. Wisconsin is up 2 sets to none on Penn State up in Madison. The winner of that match gets Pitt. In Big Ten basketball tonight, Ohio State at the half leads Rutgers 31-29. Iowa State visits Iowa in a few minutes. So in fact, they just tipped off a minute into the game, no score between the Hawkeyes and the Cyclones. And another Big Ten matchup up in Minneapolis with Michigan taking on Minnesota. Big Ten women's action tonight. Maryland leads Purdue 67-65 with 4:50 to go in that game. Indiana leads Penn State. It's a tight one, 37-36 mid-third quarter. And Michigan losing by 11 at home to Toledo mid-third quarter, as the Rockets lead 44-33. Ohio State blasted New Hampshire earlier today, 92-36. Another day, another Husker football player has entered the portal. Jock Yan placed his name in college football's portal. Yan had limited carries this past season, and they're about to kick off on Thursday night NFL football with the Raiders visiting Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Do you need to buy or sell heavy equipment? Farm machinery, trucks, or trailers? GoCurrency is the industry-leading online auction platform for big machines. Get worldwide exposure and earn top dollar for your equipment. Visit GoCurrency.com today. Sports Nightly, ready to go now.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Goes across the key, left block, inside Walker, gathers, puts it up and in! Bang! A ring! And just like that, the Huskers are up in this basketball game over Creighton by 8.
Pass is made. They run the slide. Dooley, block back, and it drops! 2019, nick of time. Guess who? Caitlin Horn. That's 11 blocks for Nebraska.
Out to Jazz Shelley. Going to drive around Sellers. Flips it up. The banker is good. She's on fire. My goodness, is Jazz Shelley on fire.
Holy smokes.
She's got 27. Huskers lead at 60-56.
And that's going to wrap it up, my friends. 13 seconds left to go. Huskers are going to win for the first time in Omaha since Jake Muehlheisen did in 2004.
And please excuse me if I stand and applaud this Nebraska women's basketball team.
Whoa! Full shots, and here come the Huskers. The setter had with the first touch. Bump set to the right. Krause for the win. She got it! They did it! Call the grandkids! Nebraska to the Sweet 16. 26-24. Big run of the fourth. Takes down the Kansas Jayhawks.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back, hour number 2 of our Thursday night show. A double dip of us this week. Full show tonight, full show tomorrow night, as there is no sports activities the next couple of nights. And then next week, get ready, folks. We're coming at you hard and fast, all 5 nights. Sports Nightly, here we go.
I'm like, I forgot how to do this.
I know. This isn't summertime.
What? I'm like, we have a show 2 nights in a row?
Yeah, crazy stuff. We got a busy hour coming up. Jalen Reyes sat down with Lauren and JB after the match today. We're going to replay that post-game conversation. As a disappointing finish to the Husker season, they were so close to finishing off the Ducks in the 4th set, had 4 match points to win it and move on to Saturday's regional final. Couldn't get it done, and then drop the 5th, 15-11. Huskers' season comes to an end today. We'll recap that with Jaylen coming up here in a little bit. And Jessica has another performance podcast out where you're going to focus in on life skills, and Keith Zimmer will have that conversation for you coming up later on in the hour. And if you want to be a part of it, 402-413-2400 if you want to fire off a comment or question to us here tonight. But after the match today, JB and Lauren had a chance to talk to associate head coach Jalen Reyes. John Cook is not allowed to come back out. He has to go do all the NCAA required post-game things. So for the NCAA tournament, we always get an assistant coach, and today it was Jalen. Let's go back and listen to that conversation.
bring on Husker assistant head coach Jalen Reyes. Coach, thanks for stopping by on this difficult time. Your initial thoughts after this one?
I thought Oregon played great. Collier had a night. I thought Lewis, the opposite, came in and she did a really nice job. And I think their setter is elite. Pukas is really, really good, and she was a huge addition to them transferring in from Washington State. But super proud of the girls, never giving up, battling through a tough year with all the changes we've made. But I thought Oregon won this match, and I thought Oregon played really, really well. Obviously, I think we had a couple of chances in the fourth, but I thought Oregon played a really good match, and hats off to Coach Ulmer and their group. Good luck to them the rest of the way.
When late in the first set, they changed from their lefty on the right side, Mutiri, to Lewis, who's a right-hander. Did that change things for you? Did that make it defending her a little more difficult?
Yeah, we didn't, I think I didn't do a good enough job prepping them, and she's just a different look, and it took us a little while to kind of get her lined up, and I don't know if we ever did, but I think they did a nice job of that, and it allowed them to set a little more. In the first set, they tried to set a bunch of balls to the right side, and they didn't kill any, and they just had enough of a wrinkle where you couldn't just completely forget about their right side. And it was just timely. When they set her the ball, it was really important. She killed some balls, and she killed some timely ones. Obviously, Nunaviller and Collier got like a lion's share of the sets. Obviously, I don't have the stats in front of me, but when she got set, she killed some balls, and that was huge.
There was a huge green card late in the fourth that would have given Nebraska a 3-point lead. They did not reverse it, and it was a 1-point Nebraska lead. The issue was a Nunaviller attack. Did it touch the Husker block or not? Because it came right back at her and landed out of bounds.
It was a Collier attack. We thought it was four contacts. The rally continued, so we challenged, thinking, hey, that would give us a 3-point lead. And from our view, we thought, of course, I'm on the Nebraska side, so I think the ball hit the net, and the referee didn't, find enough evidence to overturn it, or I think that he said the call stands, so that means he didn't confirm it, but didn't have enough evidence that the ball did not touch our block, I guess.
Jaylen, you guys made a pretty significant change in matching up Lindsay with Nicklin and then Whitney with Ani, when Whitney has been hitting off of Nicklin the majority of the year, and Lindsay's been hitting off of Ani the majority of the season. And so what went into that decision-making, and why did you make that change for today's match?
I thought the change was kind of made because we wanted to get Lindsay on the court more. We felt like Ani and Whitney had a good relationship, but we just felt like Lindsay Krause's been playing really good. She's been our best player the last month or so. So, and we want to have Nicklin in the 6-2. We wanted Nicklin setting more. So instead of spinning to row 4 with Ani and Lindsay, we wanted, we just thought, okay, we could keep everybody else the same, but then switch that, and we'd get Lindsay on the court more. And I don't know what she ended up hitting, but she ended up hitting, and I think a pretty good number. I think.
Lindsay.
But we wanted to. I think it was more. We just wanted to get her on the floor more frequently than in some of our other matches we've played. She's our most efficient player, but because we always start around row 1, she's in the game less than Whitney was.
Lindsay and Caitlin were the only ones who hit more than 200. Lindsay Krause, a big afternoon, 16 kills, hit 324. Caitlin Horde, 7 kills, no errors. He hit 412 today. Tell us what the locker room was like after this one, Jaylen.
Yeah, they're hurting. I think everybody's hurting, including myself. It's just, you put so much into it, and you go to battle with these kids each and every day, and for the 4 seniors that, I'll never get to coach again. Everyone's hurting in there, and including the young ones, and just, it's always great to be a Husker, but all the Huskers are hurting in the locker room after this one.
Thanks, Jaylen.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Lauren.
Jalen Reyes.
Coach Reyes, the post-game comments with JB and Lauren after the end of the match and the end of the season for the Huskers today. Boy, you could hear the pain in his voice. And it is. It's such an abrupt thing. Same thing happens in basketball. You get in the tournament, it's a wonderful thing, and then it's cold turkey. When it ends, it's over, and it's just so abrupt, and your mind can't wrap because you're always thinking about the next match or the next game. Now that's gone.
And again, even in this specific match, it was Nebraska had control of it.
Right there.
I mean, it literally flipped in a hurry, and so then you're just like, it's one thing if you get beat handily, you kind of can prepare yourself within a match, but you are in the middle of this thing thinking, we're moving on. I mean, you stay locked in, but I think a lot of Husker fans watching, I thought, oh, we're going on to Saturday. We got to think about Saturday's coverage. And it just, just even how quickly it just shifted in the middle of that thing also makes it even tougher.
Yeah, well, you could hear the pain, and even Crypto in our YouTube chat room said it's hard for me to hear this. It is. It's hard. You hear the pain in his voice, and those 4 seniors whose careers are over. And I hope Nicklin appreciates. I saw some people this afternoon on some social media sites just saying, Nicklin has meant a lot to my young daughter. They looked up to Nicklin, and Nicklin was just so popular and came back and I think was willing to accept whatever role Nebraska was going to give her this year. And then she had to take a bigger role because of injuries to Kennedy Orr and the unsettled setter position. But at some point, they'll have a real pride feel about their careers. But right now, it's not. You just you can't do that.
Yeah, it's and again, you go into this season, how far in advance do Final Fours for volleyball? It's like, 2 or 3 years in advance, so that it's in Omaha. It's been circled. They had talked about this last year. I remember being at the women's basketball game when the team came back from just a devastating loss in the finals, and we're talking about, hey, a year from now, it's going to be up in Omaha, and, it's just been such a big goal for this team, and then you come in and you have the #1 team preseason, and it's devastating. I think this one's probably really, really tough to swallow.
Am I wrong? Was it last year that they all came back and were sick when they got back?
They did. They all had COVID.
They all got COVID?
Yeah.
When they came back from that thing. All right, 402-413-2400. Let's go to Omaha and chat with Mark. Good evening, Mark. You're up on Sports Highly.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good.
It was a tough loss when they lost Kenzie Knuckles. But they did have that 4th set at a 20-17. And, I'm not saying they let that thing get away, but they were pretty well in control in that, and then it did get away from them. But I give Jalen Reyes a lot of credit. I listened to that post game earlier today, and he gave all the praise to Oregon, which it does deserve. And Oregon played very well, and they deserved just as much as Nebraska did today. It was a great match to watch. But, this will be 11 years since Nebraska didn't at least get to the Final 8. Have a good evening.
Yeah, Mark, I mentioned that staggering number earlier in the show. That's just remarkable to have 10 straight Elite 8 appearances, and that's why this stings. And you're exactly right. Oregon's a good, solid team. That's not, they didn't lose to some rummy. That was a good team.
And they've won 16 in a row now. They found a rhythm at the end of the season, and they have been in this situation where they've had to come back. I mean, that's what the ESPN crew was talking the whole time. Even the head coach had talked about that, about this team has been in positions where they've had to come back and win. And when you have done that over and over again, you just believe that you're going to do it again. And so, it just was a tough task. Once you kind of give a team like that a little bit of belief, you've got to keep your foot on the neck, as they say, and not let that team get any belief, because they've done it so many times that if you give them any kind of slight belief, they're gonna make the most of it and try to swing that thing to their favor that they've done time and time again this season.
Sam in Omaha said, I feel like this was the year Nebraska could have gotten Wisconsin to that Final Four, with the match being in Omaha or maybe Texas. And then on our chat room, our female KC Royals fan says, I'm throwing my support behind Louisville. And I think Louisville, if they get here, if they beat Oregon Saturday, they'll be the hometown favorite with Danny as their coach. So I think that's who everybody's going to go there and cheer for, are the Cardinals. Won't be the Badgers.
Well, do you think maybe there will be some for Texas? Not even with a couple of former Huskers?
Nope. Oh, that's hard. That's hard to do that, right? I mean, my goodness, to look out there and see Kayla and Akani out there, that's hard. Very tough. All right, 402-413-2400. Keep the calls and texts coming. Our Sports Nightly hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Back with our performance podcast, a snippet of that with Key Zimmer. That's coming up next.
Hey, honey.
Hey, Mom. How did Jordan's interview go?
I'm not sure. Your brother isn't home yet. Oh, one sec. Someone's at the door.
Are you Mrs. Lewis?
Yes?
Mrs. Lewis, I'm Officer Taylor. Your son was in a crash and has died.
What?
He wasn't wearing his seatbelt and was ejected from the vehicle.
No. No.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
It's the Ford Shine Bright sales event, and Ford is helping you be a light for others this holiday season. Right now, get special offers on select Ford trucks and SUVs. Come in and choose a vehicle in stock, or simply place a custom order, lock in your rate, and you're protected. Hurry in to your local Ford dealer today and find the Ford vehicle that helps you shine bright all season long. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hoegemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. It is a Thursday night Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Our next game action will be Saturday. Men's and women's basketball, both at PBA. Little doubleheader down at the Haymarket. 1:15 for the men's game, 6 o'clock for the women's contest. You have been, for the last 2 years, putting together a series of podcasts. Last year, it focused on nutrition. You've expanded it this year to more of a performance podcast.
Yeah, so performance team, right? And unfortunately, Coach Cook's group didn't come to fruition this year, but he utilizes in a big way all the different areas. There's a lot of resources here that's provided at Nebraska. That was one thing that we had talked about, wanting to focus and highlight some of those areas here that you don't always hear a lot about. But yeah, we talked about, we did strength and conditioning and nutrition, and then we did mental health. And this latest one is on the life skills department. And so again, the Husker Performance Podcast brought to you by Midwest Dairy. Your local farm families want to help you reset yourself with dairy. And this season, we'll discuss a variety of topics to help you do this. And for this episode, we're talking Husker life skills with Keith Zimmer. I wanted to start with your background. How did you get to Nebraska? You're starting your 36th season, right? This is your 36th year. So how did you get here in the first place?
Yeah, so I finished my graduate work at Springfield College in athletic administration, and being a Nebraska native, the dream was to come back and work for Nebraska Athletics. Showed up and went in and met with Bob Devaney, and he said, you know, we can find a place for you in academics. And so I ended up starting out as an academic athletic counselor, working with a number of sports, but it was Coach Osborne who could also see a vision that we needed to do more than just academics and athletics, and we needed to develop our student athletes beyond their sport. And that was really kind of the creation of the life skills program. You know, a lot of our athletes, you ask them what they want to do, and they either didn't know at that time, or of course they want to be a pro. And you know, Jessica, that those stats aren't very good when it comes to professional athletics. So certainly we support our athletes who have that dream to be a pro, but we have to do our part to get them ready for the next 40 years. And that's really what the life skills department does. We try to enrich, develop, prepare, and make them uniquely competitive so they can win off the field and win the game of life. And I think we've grown to where we are a leader, and we're definitely making an impact.
Absolutely. What made you interested in that when Coach Osborne came to you with this idea? And why did he pick you, I guess?
Well, I've always had an interest in helping and serving and giving back, and certainly an interest in athletics. My background was in counseling as an undergraduate, and initially out of college I did protective service work, you know, working with children and families and trying to reunite and pull things together. So it was a good fit. And again, just to be involved with Nebraska athletics and serve student athletes, that's always been the ultimate goal, and that's really where I've dedicated my career to.
There's so many different layers to life skills, and we're going to dive into all of that. But when you first started it, what did it look like, and what kind of vision did you have for it those first few years?
Yeah, so in 1987, Nebraska was one of 6 schools invited to the NCAA headquarters. Back then it was in Overland Park, Kansas. And really you could build it one piece at a time. And as a one-person operation, that's exactly what we did. And our first component was career development. Then down the road, we added the community service piece, then the education, the proactive education, then development, and then some post-eligibility opportunities. And now, as you know, Jessica, we're doing things in name, image, and likeness, where we have a Husker Advantage program led by Tom Lemke to really help our athletes become more marketable and benefit on how they can monetize from their name, image, and likeness. So it's ever-changing, but we've kind of built it one component at a time. And like we were talking about earlier, it's much more than service. It's really how we can develop them completely, make them a well-rounded individual who can compete with anybody. And as you know, that student-athlete experience is unique. It can make them better prepared than anybody else on campus.
I think that's probably what most people assume with life skills. Oh, it's the community service, because that's what we see right on social media. But you mentioned some of the development and some of those programs that you guys provide. Can you dive into that a little bit more and some of the specifics on when student athletes come to those summer sessions and some of those topics that you really want to hit on with them?
Yeah, so we start during our summer bridge program. That's all the incoming student athletes to Nebraska, and we really try to focus on the transition, how to get them acclimated to college life, the demands that come with being a Division I college student athlete, but really kind of teaching them how to promote who they are and how to be a responsible student athlete. And again, using your expertise to help with communication has been great. We teach them a lot about finance. We want to get them involved in the community early and often. We also want to remind them about the responsibility of wearing the N. It's a privilege to be a Nebraska student athlete, and there's a lot that comes with it. They're representing student athletes who have been a part of this program from the 1890s to the present. And so being responsible, making good choices, doing the right thing, that's the Nebraska way. And we instill that early and often at Nebraska.
What, I guess for fans that, again, these are all the student athletes that come through the life skills department, and you don't make them do anything, but the community service part of it. And there are some videos that people can see in pictures, but there's so much that goes unseen that people have no idea what all that these student athletes are doing. So what's the buy-in like from, again, top to bottom, all these student athletes, how much they want to get involved and want to give back to the community?
They're eager to do it, and they're happy to do it. And again, like I said, it's the Nebraska way. We try to teach our athletes that just by saying yes can really change a life. And I go back to a guy like Rex Burkhead when he met little Jack Hoffman, who had a brain tumor. Rex said, yes, I will make an experience special for you here at the stadium. And that developed into the Team Jack Foundation, and Rex is still a part of that today. So just by saying yes can change a life. And by giving a little more time can mean a world of difference. And so most of our athletes are happy to do it. They know that they will grow from it. It's mutually beneficial, and it's the Nebraska way. And to give back, we're so fortunate, Jessica, as you know, we have a fan base better than anyone in the world. And the way our athletes are supported, certainly if it's within their time demands and the parameters of compliance, by and large, our athletes from every sport, they're happy to give back and they look forward to it.
How do they go about finding where they want to give back? Because, I just did a conversation with Casey Thompson, and he wanted to go to local schools, and he plays on the playground and goes and speaks in the classroom. But there's a lot of different areas that these student athletes get involved with. How do they go about finding where they want to give back?
Yeah, we educate them on all the different opportunities. Some teams do required team service projects, so they're just a part of it, whether they want to or not. Others, like a Jenna Rogers from the track team who you've worked with, they have a vision on something they may want to create that they're passionate about. So, we are open-minded as long as we can do it within compliance. We're creative, and we want to be as inclusive as possible and expose our athletes to as many opportunities as possible. You never know what they're going to connect with, and again, it can be life-changing for them and the people that they're impacting.
And we're going to hear from Jenna Rogers on this podcast too, but she talked so highly and was so thankful and appreciative of Stacy and helping her execute her vision. So tell us about your team and who you got working for you.
Yeah, Stacy Burling is a veteran of our staff. She's going into her 13th year. She directs a lot of our outreach events and our education events. She's got a background in athletics. Tom Lemke is a baseball alum here at Nebraska. He does a lot of our career programming and is excellent in that regard. We have Kate Frazier, who's a former basketball player. Kate does a lot of our career counseling, a lot of our outreach. She does our sportsmanship pep rally, of course, that you were part of for the season opening women's basketball game. Kate also handles our Nebraska football road race that raises thousands of dollars every year for pediatric brain cancer. So I have a lot of people who really care. They like to serve. They're happy to be connected to athletics every day, and they do it for the right reasons.
How do you guys go about, you just listed a lot of things, and you didn't even mention tonight at the lead. I know you guys put on the Nebraska Hall of Fame ceremony every single year. How do you guys go about it? You got to be extremely organized, I'm assuming, your staff meetings, just tackling everything that you're involved with.
Yeah, a lot of it's event planning and just attention to detail. Some creativity is a part of it as well. And, you know, we try to involve the student athletes. These are their events, so, you know, we want to try to be as inclusive as we can, make them meaningful, make them interactive, and we draw a lot of people in. I think one key word, Jessica, for life skills is collaboration. Back in the beginning, when I was a one-person operation, we needed the help of a lot of people. So we have good partners on campus, in the community, people who are willing to give and invest in these student athletes to help them along the way, and we're really appreciative of that.
How about recruiting? Because I know you spend a lot of time with recruits. What role do you have in that when these athletes come on campus? And you have any fun stories of an athlete that committed because of the impact of life skills?
Well, life skills is a game changer. I firmly believe that. We say at Nebraska, we talk about success in athletics, academics, and life. It's who we are. And so we are involved in every prospective visit when recruits come to campus, and we're happy to do that because we think that what we have to offer is a game changer. It's a separator. So the parents, of course, they really appreciate what we have to offer because we're not only enriching their sons or daughters for the next 4 or 5 years, but for the rest of their life. So our coaches embrace it. They understand that it can be a difference maker. And again, the recruits will tell you they don't get this on every visit. Nebraska is unique that life skills is part of their visit itinerary. And so I think, as I mentioned, it sets us apart. And we've had some athletes, you know, who have told us that the life skills program has been a defining reason why they chose Nebraska, whether it was the impact in the community that they can make or the investment we make after they graduate, which we do through our post-eligibility scholarship. There's so many different things that we offer that might connect with a student athlete that could ultimately allow them to choose Nebraska. So presenting that in a 30-minute time frame, you just never know the opportunity and the connection you might make.
It's going to be pretty cool, though, for you and your staff to get to see these young high school kids come in and then get to watch them and be with them every step along the way, from recruiting to then seeing them off. And so many of them go do so many great things. I come to you all the time about, hey, who should I talk to about this? And you've got all these lists of student athletes that are making just tremendous impacts even well after their playing time is done.
It's rewarding, and it's one of the reasons why I've stayed in it for as long as I have. I mean, to watch these athletes thrive while they're here, but then go on and become the best at what they do, either athletically or in their chosen career, it is rewarding. You met one of them today with Karina LeBlanc, a soccer standout, a goalkeeper for John Walker. She's amazing, a two-time Olympian, CONCACAF president. She's a general manager for a professional team. She's an inspiring leader, and there are so many examples of alums that we can be proud of that we did play maybe a small role in their development. It's very rewarding, and we're very proud to be a part of their life.
Well, Trev Alberts has mentioned the life skills when he was here as a student athlete, and now look where he's at.
He's my boss. So no, he's been great, and you know, we didn't have the life skills program that we have today when he was here, but yet he found a few ways that he could benefit. He was really involved as a ambassador in our life skills program, and of course everybody would tell you that probably one of Trev's greatest strengths are his communication skills, his relationship building, and I think he would tell you that some of that came from his student athlete experience. So I believe all of our athletes in some way find something they can latch onto that they can take with them well into their future career.
Again, that is part of our Husker Performance podcast brought to you by Midwest Dairy. Late night studying, intense practice, cramming for that big test. Take a moment to reset yourself with dairy. Dairy foods like milk and yogurt allow you to stay in the game with immunity-boosting nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin D, zinc, and protein to help you get fueled without the crash. Trusted by athletes and supported by science. Appreciate Keith Zimmer spending some time with us. Also, that was literally just a very small portion. We talked to Ethan Piper. He's got a cool story. He started a program here called Little Red Letters where they have pen pals with kids that have parents that are deployed overseas. So again, giving them something to look forward to in the mail. And then also Jenna Rogers is a favorite here on Sports Nightly. She hosted a camp recently for special needs kids. We talk about that too. So lots to hear from on this edition of the Huskers Performance Podcast.
Jenna Rogers is a great track and field athlete for the Huskers.
Big Ten champion.
The track, how about this? The Nebraska track and field team will have an inter-squad scrimmage this weekend. The Devaney indoor track. How about that? Indoor track, about ready to go. So Jenna will be competing this weekend. The field events are going on out there as well. Good stuff. Keith Zimmer is the salt of the earth kind of guy. Great and wonderful part of this athletic department here at Nebraska. All right, phone lines and text lines back open for you, 402-413-2400. Also time to tell you to buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We got more of the show coming up next.
Shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first for your next SUV and experience the difference. We offer a full lineup of SUVs so you can find the one that best suits you and your lifestyle. The GMC Terrain and Acadia offer the perfect blend of tech and safety on the road. Or discover the style, comfort, and cargo space of the Buick Enclave. Plus, we make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. UNL has been awarded over $14 million by the U.S. Department of Commerce to expand robotics research and teaching spaces, part of a $25 million award given to the state of Nebraska to advance robotics research. The funding will allow the university to educate and train the next generation of Nebraska workers, entrepreneurs, and innovators for careers of the future.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com and find an agent to help you choose the coverage you need. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you Thursday night. Sports Night here on the Huskers Radio Network, 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question. Folks, they're about to go to a 5th set in Madison. Penn State won set 3. They're up 24-18 in the 4th. They've got set point to push it to a 5th set. I think that would probably please some Husker fans if Wisconsin get bounced out of their own regional.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Whew. That would be monstrous there. Just cleaning up some stuff in the chat room. There's a lot of concern with the weather that we've had in Lincoln today about still no helmet for Andrew for the scooter.
Yeah.
On this ice that he's having to drive around on.
Yeah, this is the day he needs it. I need it to walk to my car. I almost busted my hiney like 5 times today.
I hate walking on ice. I loathe it.
I have 2 bad knees. I'm not trying to tear my ACL again, and I about slipped, and I was scooting all over the place. I'm not prepared for this.
There's been so much, Jessica, that's happened that we have not really even had a chance to talk about, and one of it's primetime. Thoughts about Dion getting the Colorado job. Nebraska plays them next year. It'll be the home opener for the Buffaloes. It'll be game 2 for Nebraska, game 2 for Colorado. Both teams open on the road, so Nebraska's going to be in Boulder. This, to me, is going to be really fascinating to follow. I could see it working, or I could see it kind of being a disaster.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been splashy, right? And you knew wherever he was going to go, it was going to be splashy. But Colorado needed to probably try something pretty drastic. And he's going to be able to recruit, and he's already brought in some people. But they've also had a mass exodus of the headed to the transfer portal. But, again, they weren't very good. So does that really concern you? I don't know. So, yeah, it'll be fascinating to see. He obviously did a really good job at Jackson State, and they were even ranked in the top 25 at one point. So we'll see how he does recruiting there. But his message to the team, it sounded a little bit different than what Coach Rule gave to our players here in Lincoln. Way different.
I'm surprised he took it, a little bit. I really thought if he took a FBS job, it would be an SEC school. But we'll see. We play him the next 2 years.
Has the details of what he's getting paid come out yet?
I think it does. I think it is out. Jeff Brom has left Purdue. He got introduced today at Louisville. That's his alma mater. When that job was open a couple of years ago, He dabbled with it, but decided to stay in West Lafayette. Big loss for Purdue. He did a terrific job at the Boilermakers.
Yeah, and just built it into, because Purdue was so bad, and they just didn't. Jeremiah's talked about it all the time. Like, that was a team that you were like, oh, that's a win. That's a win.
Absolutely.
And then this year, boy, they made it to the Big Ten championship game, and so he did a really good job building that program into what it is. That's another program I've heard that NIL is not ideal.
Not very good.
So, I think that's just such a huge part, and it makes things really challenging on coaches nowadays if you are not lined up and have good things going with NIL, because that's a lot of times why recruits are coming, and it's a big selling point. And so I imagine that might have had something to do with it too. And I know it's his alma mater and all of that, but I think that's a huge issue for some of these coaches.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. I know we're doing it. We're probably going to do away with the divisions in the Big Ten, but let's stay with the Big Ten West. How about the changes in this division? Here, obviously, with Matt Rule. Wisconsin with Luke Fickell. Purdue's going to have a new coach. Pat Fitzgerald fired a handful of his assistants. He's got to remake that program. They've had a tough 2 years. You think there's changes coming at Iowa with their offensive staff. Going to be a lot of change for this half of the league.
Yeah, and again, just with the transfer portal, things can change in a hurry. Look at Illinois,
Right.
and their defensive coordinator might get another job.
A lot of people love him.
He has been on everybody's wish list, it seems like, for a lot of vacancies, whether it be for defensive coordinator, because maybe some SEC school is going to pay him more than what Illinois is going to pay him. But he's been a guy that I've seen his name pop up a lot. But, you can turn things around so much quickly, but it seems like there's a lot of players in the portal too, from Iowa, from some of these places. So yeah, there's a lot of unknowns for a few of these.
And it was interesting because Matt Rule knows, and I'm sure was told by Trev, that we've got a pretty good infrastructure here for NIL. When I watched Luke Fickell's press conference in Wisconsin, he's like, yeah, I'm not really that interested in the portal. I'm not really interested in NIL. I'm not. Maybe it'll work for them. I got to believe that they have a chance to get left behind if you don't embrace the changes that are happening right now in college football.
You have to. And even look at Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy has made some comments like that recently, and look how many
they're all leaving.
Mass exodus from Stillwater right now, and a lot of it is him having to do with, I think he's just kind of old school. You have to evolve with the times, and I think that's why it's so impressive to see coaches like John Cook and what he's done and the longevity of his career, because sometimes coaches can get stuck in their ways and want to do things that worked in 2000 or 1999 or 2003, 2004, even 2012, things don't work like they do anymore. And so, the best coaches evolve and change with the times. And I go back to, just again, my time at Oklahoma, just because that's where I know a lot, had spent a lot of time. Bob Stoops had talked about a lot of his players when they won the national title, said he was not a player's coach. He was not a player's coach. And by the end, that's what the players said about him, that he was a player's coach. So I think, again, the best coaches have to change and evolve and be prepared for whatever comes at you. And Jeremiah talked about that in our podcast about Coach Rule being away from it while NIL has been implemented. But that's what's great about Nebraska, is that infrastructure is in place, and there's a lot of people that have had a hand in building NIL into what it is today.
John Cook let his team practice in Halloween costumes a few weeks ago. And he said, they asked him, somebody goes, 10 years ago, nope, wouldn't have let that happen. He goes, but now I just throw my arms up and go, all right, let's go, see what we can get done. Wearing Cook costumes from the Minnesota Vikings, that type of thing. All right, I need to take a break. They're gone to the 5th in Madison. Penn State and Wisconsin, a 5th setter up there in that regional. And we're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
In transition, Shelley 3 on the left wing. You betcha! How do you not guard her in transition? And timeout, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen of the Big Ten, if Nebraska goes in transition, somebody needs to guard Jazz Shelley.
Saturday, Nebraska women's basketball hosts Samford at the PBA. Matt Coatney and Jeff Greash are live on the Huskers radio network at 5:45 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle. Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Final few minutes of our show here on a Thursday night. Tomorrow night, we promise we're going to track down Mikey Labriola. We thought we had Mikey today, but he had a final. Some class thing came up. What's more important?
What? You'd rather take a test than come to the Huskers Radio Network
Come on.
studio?
Talk to him tomorrow, and we got some picks to make tomorrow night.
One pick, right?
One pick, and we'll see how last week went.
Okay.
For some of us, I think it went pretty well. So we'll have that for you tomorrow night. World Cup resumes tomorrow. Crypto wants to know what we think about England. I think England goes down this week. I think France takes England down.
Isn't that your favorite, Andrew? England?
France.
Oh, France.
He's on the France bandwagon. I think we're headed to a France-Brazil Cup final. Andrew's with me. He follows it a lot more than I do.
I don't follow it at all. So you guys can. I could step out here and watch this basketball game, and you guys can handle the soccer talk.
Also, you had a chance to talk with Kendall Moriarty. Husker women are in the midst of a 5-game homestand. We'll hear a little bit of that conversation tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and as long as Izzy's out, Kendall Moriarty's going to be a big piece. She's going to have to step into a bigger role without Izzy. I don't know. Did we hear a timetable on her injury?
Didn't.
She's in a sling last night. So
I think Amy said day-to-day after last night's game, but anytime you're in a sling,
and then Sam Hyvee, we don't know what her status is either. So, yeah, Kendall's going to have to step up. She's going to have a big role here moving forward.
Well, and they'll get Maggie Mendelson at some point. I guess I would think they would give Maggie a few days to decompress, right? But I think
she loves playing basketball. I think she'll get there as soon as she can.
Will she be there Saturday?
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe.
Pretty quick. All right. Hey, Nebraska 811 says go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, and it's the law. And buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Great show tonight. Thanks to Andrew for punching all the buttons. Hopefully he makes it home safely on these icy streets of Lincoln without his helmet on to drive the scooter around. We'll have a full 2 hours coming your way tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's harvest special time, and you can save $3 per foot or $3,900 per quarter-mile system now on a T&L pivot system. Pivots worked long hours this season battling dry weather to save top-dollar corn and soybean crops. But did your pivots work like no other? If not, it's time to invest in a reliable, safe, low-maintenance T&L irrigation system. Hydrostatic drives move these durable workhorses continuously across fields. So get an irrigation system that works as hard as you do. Contact T&L Irrigation, your local T&L dealer, or visit us online at TLIRR.com. T&L irrigation systems like no other.
The Lead Center for Performing Arts is celebrating 33 years of bringing the world's top artists to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln campus. Upcoming shows include Hamilton, Yo-Yo Ma, American Ballet Theater, and Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. Get tickets at leadcenter.org.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
Shop Woodhouse Chevy first and experience the difference today. Whether you're looking for a new car, truck, or SUV, we have you covered. Our educated sales team will guide you to the perfect vehicle with features you need to fit your lifestyle, so you can leave our lot feeling confident in your purchase. Plus, we make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase in-store or online at WoodhouseGM.com. Find a trusted auto partner and new roads at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley, Iowa.